So I would like to thank everyone that participated in this video, especially Battalion 2 High Rise Committee, Station 17, all of the training staff, and our editors. This video represents real live training. A couple months ago on Ross Avenue, we had a few near misses. We changed up a few things as far as our rope-assisted search. And now I'm going to bring in Captain Keaton. Captain Keaton is a captain at Station 1, been a veteran for 27 years on the job. Nice to see you. And he's going to talk about why we switched up our rope techniques. What happened at the Ross fire, what works, what doesn't work. Captain?
Okay, our high-rise program, basically we train twice a year, and we've been experiencing, a few real live fires using the rope. I've used the rope now twice in a real live fire scenario, and basically I had some problems. We had a few problems with that. Became very apparent through the maydays and the possibility of several guys getting hurt that I needed to bring this forth to the training division, and our high-rise program needed to discuss and go over these things. I feel like we've got a good plan, and I think we've pushed out a really good training scenario for our companies and a lot of lessons learned. First and foremost, I made a lot of mistakes. I made several mistakes on that fire. Luckily, they didn't cost us, and I think it's important for you to admit those mistakes, learn from them, and try to get better with that. I will kind of demo and show you a few of the things that went wrong in that fire, and also talk about some things that really went right. One of the things that really went right in that fire was Station 12 actually had walked that building and had an understanding of the layout of that building prior to that fire. So that really emphasizes checking your buildings in your territory, understanding the layout, and obviously understanding your exit points.
And didn't Captain Brunson also talk about the numerous homeless people that were
Yes, there was homeless
building?
people, and there were homeless people outside of that building when we were actually fighting that fire. But this type of rope-assisted search, the good thermal imaging use, encountering whiteouts, we're encountering those whiteouts across the city using our thermals. Multiple companies. It's just not that fire. Everyone's encountering those things, and we need to understand the why and what it means to get a whiteout on your thermal, and then what we need to do about it, basically. What are the things to correct that or to get yourselves out safely? So that's why we went over all this through our training. One of the other aspects that I just forgot to mention, but RIT. As part of our training, we also installed a RIT factor. I think the last time we've trained on RIT was 22 years ago, 24 years ago.
It's been a while.
And I think it was really important. We have our new RIT bags. We need to start understanding having a RIT. If you're that RIT company, that's not a punishment. We need to start understanding that building size up and start basically sizing up that building, going over those, checking all those boxes off with RIT. If it's a super large structure, I would think you might want to put 3 or 4 rope bags at those entry points, just for your RIT companies, have them tied off. Soften that building up. Have a plan amongst your crew if something happens. Be prepared to go. It's a lot better to be prepared and ready when you're called upon. So that's some of the stuff we're going to be talking about.
And that's absolutely right. RIT should not look at themselves as a punishment.
Right.
At all. There's going to be 25 new RIT bags deployed throughout the city. All battalion cars and truck companies will have the new RIT bags probably within the next 2 months.
Okay, one of the lessons that we learned actually the hard way on this Ross fire, this was the second basically rope-assisted search that I used. And we went over it a little bit through our training videos and showed you. But one of the mistakes we had was that we had these tagline bags actually on our rope. In my opinion, if you're using a search rope, Chad, you need to keep this search rope clear of everything except the search rope and what it's designed for. If you want to use these taglines, by all means, I'm not saying you can or can't, whatever the company officer or your company would like to do. But these things need to start out in your firefighter's pocket, basically, or wherever they keep them. We need nothing on our straps on this rope, okay? This is a dedicated device, basically, for our safety, okay? One of the things I will show you that we experienced on that fire is that we got to that second floor and basically all the thermal imaging cameras had a whiteout. We had 5 of them, all 5 of them didn't work. It's like a flashlight. Once we got over there though, and we got into the stairwell to get to that second floor, we hit 4 cones. We know through training in the past and have gone over those directional cones that 4 cones meant I was 100 feet into that structure. One of the good things I did actually was my firefighter called out, he yelled out, we're at 4 cones, about midway up the stairwell. And so when I got to the top of the stairwell, I told all our firefighters, hey, I needed y'all to do an air check. More than anything, I'm only looking for color. It was very difficult to see in there. I couldn't see our exact pressure, but I could see their color. Hey, give me your color. And several of them were like, hey, I'm at yellow, I'm at yellow. And myself, I was at yellow as well. So it meant we had a little bit of error before it got to red, because we know if it goes to red, our vibe alert goes off. And then really, that would kind of test us. So when we got to the top of the stairwell and we did our air check and we all announced that we had yellow on there, I basically told our guys, okay, I want you to drop the rope bag. We're going to do an emergency exit. Emergency exit means, and the rope is designed, that you just hit that buckle, this rope goes down, and then we just follow the rope outside of the structure, right?
Yes.
Well, when I called that out to my firefighter, he started reaching up and feeling around, trying to find this buckle on the front and the back side, and he's finding that buckle. He could not find that buckle. At this point, I moved him to the side of the hall, and luckily, we weren't in red on our SCBAs. Our vibe alerts were not going off. But at this point, I know command announced that all need to exit the structure. So I had him raise his arms up, and I was actually trying to feel with my glove hands, and I couldn't find the buckle. If you can kind of look at this fairly close, I think you can start realizing what happened in that scenario and why I couldn't find the buckle. At this point, I put my flashlight down, I took my bare hand, took my glove off, and I started trying to feel with my bare hands, trying to find the buckle. I still could not find the buckle. The reason I could not find this buckle was we had these tag lines, and I'll show you real quick what they were doing to our search rope bag, okay? These things, it's a tool, but it does not need to be on this rope bag, okay? That really could have cost us. Luckily though, we started working through our problem, and so I had several options that I could have done. I could have taken my knife out and cut the rope, basically, because you're stuck on this rope. What I ended up doing though, actually, was I had your arms up, and I decided I was just gonna uncoil this rope around you, okay? So as you stood still, I took it around here, and I took it to the back. And unfortunately, our rope was actually caught through the regulator as well.
Yes.
And so I told my firefighter that he was going to have to take a deep breath real quick, and I was going to have to pull this rope off of him. He took a breath, we pulled the rope off, and then basically put his regulator back on.
Now, at what point, when you were talking about the taglines being on the buckle, that it started melting to the buckle?
I think they might have melted a little bit, but it was getting hot in there, but I don't think it was at a big extent. I think more so was that it just,
The fact that
more
it
than
covered the
anything, the
buckles.
fact that it was just covering that.
Yes.
And if you think about that, if you can't see extremely low visibility environment, high stress environment where, hey, everybody's yelling, we got to get out of here. And I realized that too, but I had you basically stuck, okay? What I really want to emphasize is we don't want anything on this rope. We want this rope clear. Okay, I want to talk about our cones on our search ropes and why they're directional and the benefits of that. Each cone represents 25 feet. So 1 cone, 25, 2 cones, 50 feet, and we have them spaced. Very important aspect of this is that they are directional. If, let's say, you're off the rope and you crawl and you find basically that search rope on the ground, if you get to a cone and can feel your way through it it will lead you to the way out. The cone will point you to the way out. One of the things, what we call our exit is an emergency exit. Let's say you've had the rope and you detached yourself from that rope and the officer calls out, hey, we're all low on air, let's emergency exit out of the structure. All you would do is basically you're gonna hurl this search rope nice and tight. We get to this cone, and as we start crossing these cones, I'm gonna yell out how far we have left into the building. So I get to one cone, 25 feet, one cone. And on our emergency exit, it's just hand over hand, and we're exiting out of this structure as fast as we can.
So some of the things I wanted to cover on our new RIP packs. They should be distributed probably in the next 2 to 3 months. Simple packs. You're gonna have a 5.5 bottle where you can turn your bottle on, regulator, and a face piece. This is something I wanted to go over real quick though. You have on this side what is called a rectus fitting. This side is called a Hansen fitting. This is for your 5.5s and your 4.5s. As soon as we have integrated completely to the 5.5 bottles, this will be gone. Okay, something I wanted to make sure that everybody's aware of. Before the packs go out, Captain Langford is going to put together another instructional video on the RIP packs. One of the things that we noticed in training through the last month is that this carabiner is not going to work. We've already ordered 25 large carabiners that you can just clip on, no twist or nothing like that. Okay, and something else that I wanted to cover, this will be a training that's going to come in the near future. We're going to talk about carries and firefighter drags, but this is what I carry, and so does Captain Brian at Station 8. We both carry webbing like this in our pockets. But I want you to think about just a 5-foot piece of webbing that you can keep in your RIP pack to use for firefighter drags, okay? Just something to kind of put on your radar for later. But we will have a video that'll cover all of this stuff in the next few months.
So my name is Brian Heckley. I'm an engineer with Fort Fire Department, work at Station 1, drive Engine 1 or Tower 1 on B shift. Been in the high-rise committee for 10 or 11 years now and instructing this and learning as much as I can along the way. So today our objectives are, with this high-rise field training group, are floors above and active RIT. Along the way, we're going to go over the whole high-rise SOP and go over the pre-assignments quickly and just make sure we're on the same page, right? It's always good to go over this stuff. We do this in Battalion 2 a couple times a year, and it pays off when we have major incidents like the explosion in downtown and whatnot. So with that, we'll just get started with the pre-assignments. First on engine, first on truck are going to show up and give a size up, right? 8-story high-rise, nothing showing, investigating. Our actions, like once, it doesn't matter if there's fire blowing out of the 6-story window or if there's nothing showing. Everything's going to be the same for the suppression group. We're going to meet in the lobby, look at the fire control panel. We're going to talk to people, talk to building engineers, building reps, gather as much info as we can, and then go up, right? How we get up depends on what floor we're going to. 6 is kind of the magic number on if we use elevators or not. If we're going to use the elevators, we're always going to go to 2 floors below and then take the stairs up to what would be drop point number 1. So as we go up, Engine 1 and Truck 1 would go up together as a suppression group. If they find on the 6th floor that there is a fire in an apartment or a hotel room or on that floor, they're going to stop and establish a division, right? So now they're going to relay to command or alarm. We have a working high-rise fire. Suppression group is establishing Division 6. We're deploying a hallway stretch in this situation right here. We have fire and smoke confined to a room, an apartment, a hotel room. And that's really your CAN report, right? That's all that you got to say is that we're doing a hallway stretch. That tells command your conditions of the hallway, conditions of the fire apartment, tells them your actions, and it tells them your needs, right? We got a working high-rise fire. Automatically with that terminology, it's the second alarm is going to be dispatched. While all that's going on, the second engine's showing up, right? Second engine's going to be Water, the engineer. If he's a competent engineer and we trust his abilities to hook up to the FDC, then as a crew, we're going to leave him there, hook up to the FDC, and get that crew up to the suppression group, right? Again, that group's taking 3 sections of hose, standpipe bag, irons, search rope, all the normal suppression equipment. When they get up there, they're going to check in with that division supervisor, the first truck officer, first truck captain, and get an assignment, right? Ideally, the second engine crew their whole goal is to put that first hose line in service, right? We're moving 2.5-inch hose, eventually charged. Just like on any big fire, whether it's a high-rise or a warehouse or any fire, the most important thing we do as an engine crew is put that first hose line in service, right? This one here is a large line we're not as used to using, so it's going to take 6 people to move that hose line efficiently around the 5th and 6th story. Third on engine's going to show up. They're going to spot the engine close to a hydrant, close to that FDC. Close to the second on engine. And those 2 engineers are going to work together to make sure they get water supply. That crew, the third on engine, if there's a working fire, they're gathering the same equipment, suppression equipment, and going upstairs to report to the division supervisor again, right? Once they get up there, again, their goal is to supplement whatever's going on with those engine crews, right? If we have a working fire, a consideration to be made is to start thinking about going to 2 floors below and getting a backup line in place, right? Something we haven't practiced very much at all or ever. Second on truck shows up, they're going to be lobby, right? So that crew, there's really 4 jobs in that lobby group. We spoke about lobby, I think, at the last high-rise field training group. But one of those jobs is the lobby officer, right? He's going to be a presence in that lobby, somebody that's identifiable that everybody knows to go check in with, right? There's a couple reasons we want to check in with lobby. One is accountability, right? He's going to keep track of who's coming in and who's coming out of that building. The second reason we want to do that is it may be a building that you've never been into, right? They're saying we're using stairwell 2 as our attack stairwell. You have no idea where stairwell 2 is, right? If it's in downtown, what we teach all the truck companies in downtown, and hopefully it carries over, is if we have our search rope in the lobby, we're going to tie it off to the main entrance we're using, and I'm going to lay that rope out however that path is to get to stairwell 2, right? So that way now we can say, hey, Wes, follow that rope to stairwell 2. I don't have to escort him there. I don't have to hope that he finds it, just follow that rope. It'll take you there. That's the lobby's officer. He's going to be working with logistics eventually and command and relaying information that we're finding out about the building. The firemen and the engineers' jobs are different, right? They're going to be working by themselves. The engineer typically would be assigned to run the elevators, right? His only job, if we're using elevators, is to run those elevators, shuttle firemen up and down. It takes a few minutes to figure out an elevator. We want that consistency so that way he can monitor conditions as he opens up elevator doors and sees if there's any changes on floors or in the shaft. So we want that consistency. So one guy's job will just be elevator operator. The firemen typically would be assigned the control panel, right? So you would just hang out in that fire control room. You're monitoring the control panel for changes. If this fire is migrating, up a utility chase, now we got smoke on 7, right? Hey, lobby from lobby firefighter, we got smoke on 7 now, right? That's something that command and suppression crews would want to know. While you're in that room, typically in our high rises, there's lots of other things to look for. There's things like stairwell pressurization systems and maybe schematics, of what the high rise looks like. So while you're in there, just be investigative, right? Look around, see how else you can help, and be prepared if lobby or somebody asks you to do something. The other job is to run around with the building engineer, right? Locate the building utilities, the fire pump, the electrical shutoffs, HVAC shutoffs, water shutoffs, all that good stuff. And you're not necessarily the one to throw those breakers and whatnot, because we're not pros about that building, but we do want to be there to relay as we get that message over the radio, say, hey, boss, shut that down for us, right? So that's an important job to be running around in the basements, basements next door, wherever their generators and all that stuff are, right? You're going to be all over that building. All right, here we go. 4th engine shows up. They're going to be assigned to floors above, right? We're going to talk about this. This is one of our main things today, jobs of floors above. One is you're going to check in with lobby, right? If it's already established, just like normal, come up, check in with the division supervisor on your way up. We do that because we want somebody to know that we're working above the fire, right? That captain's going to know that somebody's assigned to floors above, but it's nice to know if, like, hey, they're up there now, right? So for accountability, for safety, and then if he needs something done upstairs or checked, he knows that he has somebody up there right now that can take care of something for him, right? So check in with the division supervisor and then go on up. When we ascend up the stairwell, we're going to voice what the stairwell conditions are, right? As this crew starts fighting fire right here, we expect heavy smoke to come out and to go up this stairwell, right? Voice that, Is there stairwell ventilation that there is no smoke? here, meaning it's all traveling up at a decent speed, or is it heavy smoke, which means it's probably banking down, right? Voice your stairwell conditions to command. Once you get here on the 7th floor, the floor above, voice your conditions of that floor, right? Open this doorway into the hallway and voice your conditions. What we're gonna run in today, I'll just tell you, I'm sure a lot of you guys have been here already, but we're gonna have heavy smoke conditions, right? So that creates a decision for you as floors above. How much time would it take to do a primary search for evacuees, getting people out, residents that are trapped, or searching for extent of fire if it's heavy smoke, right? It's gonna take you some time. So that's there's no like rule of thumb about this decision. It's just, am I gonna be dedicated to the 7th floor for a long period of time that holds me back from checking the rest of the floors above, right? If that's the case, then that officer needs to stop right there and say, command from floors above, I'm creating Division 7, reassign floors above to another company. We had heavy smoke on 7. We're gonna be here for a while, right? At that point, then you would start your search, You're gonna be, equipment you're taking up is 3 sections of hose, standpipe bag, all that good stuff. Leave it in the stairwell, right? You can't do a search with all that stuff as you're lugging it around. Leave it in the stairwell, do your search, and then come back, report what you got to command, right? What else we got? Floor above conditions, creating division. The next part here, say you got light smoke, you got nothing going on, you're still floors above group, we haven't created the 7th division, it's not needed, right? You would check 7 and then you're gonna go up to the roof, right? Get up as high as you can in that attack stairwell. You're gonna be the first one to be at this position at the top of that stairwell. So while you're there, go ahead and do some ventilation, right? Open up that door. While you're there, look for a way to get rid of that smoke out of this chimney as it rises here. Then we're gonna start our search on the top floor down, right? One of the big things is that as we get up there, we want to check the stairwell just a couple floors above us each time too, right? There might be people trying to come down as we open up this door and start fighting fire and the smoke is coming up. We want to be ready and check that as we're going up every 2 to 4 stories, right, above where we're working, and then come back down and do our work, right? Because there might be somebody there that we can help just pull in out of that chimney as we go. We're going to talk more about rope search in just a few minutes. We're going to get on here to the 5th engine, interior staging. One of the biggest things for interior staging is obviously bringing equipment, right? Air bottles being primary, bring as many air bottles as you can. The next most important part with interior staging is once you're there and we got a working fire, we don't need the second alarm companies hanging out over here in base, right? The reflex time from base to the fire floor is going to be way too long. Right? So if you are the interior staging officer, one of the first things you need to do is prompt command to ask for the 1-to-1 ratio, right? The SOP spells out a minimum of 1-to-1 ratio, 2-to-1 being ideal, right? So we have 4 engines working, 1 truck. So one of the first announcements from interior staging is command from interior staging, we're established on the 4th floor, send me 4 engines and 1 truck, right? And as these guys go to rehab and these guys are going to work, we ideally need another 4 engines and 1 truck, right? It's a 3-station rotation at that point as we're working through this fire. 6th engine or the squad, right? They're going to be RIT. Their jobs we're going to talk about here in just a second in more detail also. But there's a reason that Squad 2 is RIT in downtown, right? Most of our high rises are downtown. And we want them on scene as early as possible, right? There's been some discussion lately about Squad 2's roles at some incidents, but it's extremely important that they're there as we're putting this hose line in service, right? The key to this is we want engines doing engine work, trucks doing truck work, and then the squad or the 6th engine doing rescue work, right? Like preparing, being proactive in their RIT assignment, being proactive, helping that division supervisor do things that he needs done, right? If the engine crew is doing other things, they're not pulling hose, they're not humping hose, they're not putting that first line in service. If the truck crew is they're already going to be split up a little bit. If they're having to do other things other than working on confining that fire deeper into that apartment and doing a good primary search, if they're being assigned other things, they're not able to do that, right? So the squad is there early in the incident to be able to supplement that division supervisor, right? Like or give them assignments. Give them that assignment of sending two crew members up to check the stairwell while all this hose line's being deployed. Check that stairwell 2 to 4 floors above. Come back down. Run over here and take note of apartment numbers, right? Most of our hotels and apartments are stacked, you know, so if we're getting word that it's apartment 606, you know, as they're doing recon and this hose line's being put into service, you know, you can say, you just reaffirm that it's the third door down on the right-hand side of this hallway, right? If they're having a difficult time, conditions have changed, and they're pushing down a hallway and they can't find the seat of the fire, it's better to be able to feel for doors, you know? I mean, it's things that we can do to help out. As they're working this way, maybe there's another stairwell on the other side, right? They're looking for alternate means of egress or entrance. If we're having to force a door in a high-rise, you know, most time we need fobs and special keys and all that stuff. We can't get through there right away, like at a house, right? Take a door at a house, we can do that in no time. But if we're having to force a door like this in a concrete wall with metal frame, we need to do that ahead of time, right? It's going to take us several minutes possibly to get through some of those kind of doors. So be proactive in your work as RIT company. That goes along with warehouse fires, commercial fires, apartment fires, large house fires. You know, I think we're coining the term occupancies over 3,000 square feet, right? It's going to become like a magic number, kind of trigger some extra companies and the way we do some things. Well, one of those is RIT, right? If you're on one of those structures, be proactive in your assignment. Too often, the fire service, and we're guilty of it in Fort Worth too, we pout and we're wondering why the chief doesn't like us and gives us this assignment of RIT. We need to embrace that, right? Like if there was something that happened, that's the most important role that we have on the fire ground, taking care of each other. A big part of RIT is being proactive and taking care of those problems before it ever happens, right? Most of the time our rescues happen with crews working inside. The RIT crew might be deployed, but they might not make the rescue, but they're gonna be there to make that rescue go better, right? And then they are there if they are needed inside, right? So do that work, take on that responsibility and be proactive in your RIT assignment.
Okay, today we're going to go over floors above and a rope-assisted search. I've got a crew here of 3, and we're going to begin with our size up. You need to let command know what stairwell you're in, what floor you're on, and basically where you're going, and your CAN report. So as the officer comes up and moves up to the door, he's not going to want to open this door all the way because we don't really know what's behind it. He's cracking that door and he's checking conditions. The conditions met are heavy smoke conditions on this floor, so he's going to shut this door. At this point, he's going to tell his crew real quickly, hey, we got heavy smoke conditions, we need to do a rope-assisted search. Go ahead and lock into an anchor point, Brian. And now he's going to basically tell command and give command a report of where we're going. Command from floors above. We've encountered heavy smoke conditions on floor 7. We're going to be making entry in the west stairwell. We're going to be using a rope. And command would be clear, and now we make entry. Everybody good? Okay, we've made our size up, and now we're going to make entry onto the floor. The officer's coming in low. He steps into the room, and he's going to get on a knee, and he's going to slowly scan with this imager. You need to scan slow with this imager to pick up different objects in the room. We're looking for objects, okay? The firefighter at the tail end of this rope has a job. He needs to turn on that large flashlight and leave it at that entry point. That gives us a backup, basically, for our exit. The rope guy is our second firefighter in line. His job, and only job, is to keep this rope tight. He's managing the rope. As the officer scans, he's going to scan from left to right, nice and slow, and he sees a hallway. He needs to turn back to his crew, let him know the conditions. Hey, I've got a hallway right here. It looks like it goes about 10 feet. I'm going to investigate this real quick. Brian, move up about 5 feet to my position and hold your position here. As he scans, he's nice and low. He'll drop that imager down, feel around also. You'll drop that imager some. And now he's feeling, he knows that basically he's in a hallway and he's working his way forward. Periodically, he wants to raise that imager and reorient to this room, basically. He's Still moving down the hallway. He's going to drop that imager again. He's going to take another pause, and he's no longer in a hall. He's going to scan with that imager around this room. He sees that the room is opened up, so at this point, he's going to turn to his rope bag guy and his firefighters. Hey, I need you to move up 15 feet to my position. The room opens up. As Brian moves up with the rope bag, he's going to turn and go, hey, hold your position. And now he's going to bring his firefighter into this search. Hey, come up to me. We've got a room that's opened up. Check real quick with your imager. I want you to go to the right side. I'm going to go to the left and pause and meet you, okay? I need to clear this room out. Go. His firefighter is going to be on his hands and knees because we're now going to be doing these good search techniques. He's sweeping the floor. As the officer gets here at this corner, he's going to pause and periodically check his firefighter that's searching. And he's going to turn back to his rope. Hey, are you still back there? Are you holding your position? Here. He's still back there holding position. He's our anchor point to the way out of this structure. The firefighter's still searching. And now he's met up with this officer. What? Did you find anything?
All clear.
He's got an all clear. So now we've searched this room good. And now the officer's going to turn and scan again with his imager. And he's found a doorway. At this point, I'm going to yell at my rope bag guy. Move to your left, 10 feet to my position. I need you to hold at a doorway. Move forward.
One cone.
One cone.
One cone.
We're always going to repeat how many cones we hit because that lets us know how deep we are into this structure. Hey, we're going to search this room, okay? We have a door. I need you to hold your position at the doorway. Our lieutenant now, he's going to scan this room. He's checking the room. He's told his rope guy to stay at the doorway, and now he comes into this room and he's going to reorient himself to the room. It's a nice, slow sweep. It's going to take about 15 seconds, sweeping nice and slow with his imager. And he sees that we have a bedroom, basically. He's going to turn to his firefighter. He sees a bed. Hey, I've got a bed at 2 o'clock. I need you to follow that right wall, and I'm going to meet you, and we're going to go and search this room entirely, okay? I'm going to meet you on the other side. Go. He'll check back with his rope guy. You still at the doorway? We're still doing those good oriented search techniques. We're in a room. We're in voice communication to our rope. Now they've met up.
All clear.
All clear? Do we have a clear? Brian, hold your position. We're going to be coming straight back to you. He holds his position, and now the officer's going to lead the other firefighter up to the rope guy. Okay, at this point, we've searched this room. We basically covered this side of floor 7. We're going to come up to our rope guy. Hey, we finished this search. We need to cool back to our entry point and start our search over again.
Got it.
Let's cool back. Everybody's holding a hand on the bottle. Firefighter's holding her hand on the officer. And now we're cooling back.
One cone.
One cone. On our coolbacks, he's taking large grabs and pulling that rope in his hand.
We're back here at the light.
We're at the light. Hold your position. And now the officer's going to move forward and reorient himself to this room and where their next objective is going to be. He sees that there's a doorway around 20 feet. He's going to turn to his firefighter and his rope firefighter. Hey, we've got a door 20 feet, 12 o'clock straight ahead. Let's move forward. At this point, the officer basically is going to do another scan with this imager. He's going to orient himself to this room and basically set an objective for the crew. He sees a doorway around 20 feet at his 12 o'clock straight ahead. He'll talk back to his other firefighters, hey, we've got a door 20 feet, 12 o'clock straight ahead. Let's move forward. Go. As he's going, the officer's going to be sweeping basically to his left. The firefighter's going to be sweeping to his right. And we're now covering this search going down this doorway.
One cone. One cone.
We'll always repeat how many cones we hit. It's very important to emphasize that. Once he's gotten to this doorway, he's going to hold the position of the firefighters. Y'all hold your position.
Good.
I'm going to rescan the room. He's going to take his thermal and scan the room. We don't really know what we're encountering. We see a hallway and we could see a wall. He can step off this rope and basically do a quick search of this small area right here. And he can move forward. He yells at his firefighters, hold your position, I've got a haul, I'm gonna move forward about 10 feet. As he's moving forward, he's searching the area. And he's gonna pause again, he's gonna raise that imager up again, and he's gonna scan. He sees another hallway, so he can communicate to his rope and his firefighter and his other search firefighter, hey, move forward 15 feet, we've got another hallway. We all together?
Yep.
Hold your position. He scans, and now he's going to move forward through the hall. He sees now that we have another room, basically to our left. Rope firefighter, I need you to move up another 10 feet to my position and hold. At this point, I'll grab my search firefighter. Hold, come right over here real quick. I'll grab my other search firefighter and bring him up to my position. Hey, we've got a room. We got a room on your left side. I need you to get me a quick search. Go. I can still scan and track where he's going. I can always bring him back to me. I still have my accountability at this point.
All clear.
We got an all clear?
2 cones.
Okay.
2 cones.
I'm scanning again with my imager, and I'm going to reorient myself to this room. We've encountered another hallway. I'm going to yell at my firefighter, get back on that rope for me real quick. Everybody on the rope? Okay. You'll scan back. Scan back. We got everybody still on the rope?
On the rope.
Okay, hold your position. I got another hallway. I'm going to move forward nice and low, feeling my way through this hallway. And to my right, I've encountered another room. I'll look at my rope firefighter and search firefighter. Move to your right. Move to your right 10 feet. I need you to hold, rope guy, I need you to hold at the doorway.
Got it.
I'll bring my search firefighter up, communicate to him, hey, we've got a room. I need you to go to the right side. You can see it with your imager. You're going to search right. I'm going to check left. Okay, go. I'll check back with my rope. You're holding position.
All clear.
All clear? Okay, let's get back on the rope, guys. Okay, we've just completed our search to the right, and now we're going to reorient ourselves again to the room. We're going to hold that imager nice and slow. Another 20-second sweep, and we found a doorway. When he gets up to this door, he's going to just open the door and crack it. He's checking conditions. We have still heavy smoke conditions at this doorway. He's going to let the guys know, hey, we've got more heavy smoke conditions. We're going to enter this door right here, okay? He opens the door. Rope firefighter, move forward to my position at the door, and I need you to anchor right here for me for a second. We've communicated to our rope firefighter that he needs to anchor at this door, and now I need to orient myself to this room. I'm going to pull that imager up, and I'm going to do another nice slow sweep. At this point, I've encountered a stairwell. Once I encounter a stairwell, I need to communicate that to my firefighter and my search firefighter and my rope firefighter. Hey, I need you to tie that rope off at this stairwell. There's also several things that we need to communicate once we find an interior stairwell. One of the things we need to announce to your crew is, hey, I need you to do an air check. Give me an air check. Tell me what color you got. Hey, tell me what color you got. Give me an air check. You're yellow? How about you?
Yellow.
Yellow?
Yellow.
And now I'm going to check myself. We're at yellow. Once I get yellow, I don't want to basically overextend my crew and go up a stairwell. At this point, I need to make an announcement to command and let them know what we're going to be doing. So I would tell command from floors above. We've encountered an interior stairwell that leads to floor 8. We are at yellow on our bottles. We're going to be tying the rope off at the stairwell and be making an exiting the west stairwell on our rope. We will be leaving our rope bag at this location. So now he just unbuckles the rope. The officer makes sure everybody gets back on this rope that we've just tied off, and he can actually hold on to this firefighter. Is everybody together?
Yep.
Okay, let's exit the structure. At this stairwell, we're approximately about 75 feet on this rope. This exit, because remember guys, we're running out of air. We don't need to be hanging out a long time, taking our time. We need to exit deliberately and fast, okay? So this exit should take about 20 to 30 seconds to cover that 75 feet. So we communicated to each other. The officers made sure everybody's on the rope. Are we good?
Good.
Okay, now we exit the structure. Go.
Over the rope. Over the rope. Keep down. Over the rope. Keep on.
We make announcements as we cross those cones.
Watch out.
And now we've exited the structure. We'll shut the door, and now we need to let command know a simple size command from floors above. We exited the structure on the rope in the west stairwell. I have a par. They need to know we have a par for crew accountability. Hey guys, I'm gonna check this door real quick. We're on floor 7, okay?
Got it.
Hey, we've got heavy smoke. We're gonna be searching this room, or this floor right here, okay, Brian?
Got it.
Okay. Command from floors above.
Go ahead, floors above.
Command, we're in the west stairwell. We've got heavy smoke on floor 7. We're gonna be doing a search. We are using a rope.
Command's clear on search on floor 7 with a rope.
Command, we're making entry on the west stairwell. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and lock in. I want us breathing. We got heavy smoke conditions on this floor. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Ryan, shut that door behind you. Turn that light on right here at this entry point. I'm going to orient to this room. We got a hallway to our right. I'm going to go down it. Y'all stay here for just a second. I'm going to go down this hallway to our right. Hold y'all's position. We got a room to our left. Brian, move forward 10 feet. Hold your position. Ryan, come forward to me. Bring your thermal up real quick. We got a room. It looks like we have some objects at your 12 o'clock. Follow that right wall. I'll meet you over on the left side. Brian, hold your position. You still back there? Okay. Keep coming. Ryan, can you hear me?
I can hit it.
Okay, keep making your way to me.
All clear.
All clear?
All clear.
Brian, we have another room to our left. Move forward 5 feet. I need you to anchor right here at the doorway. 5 feet. Keep one cone. Couple more steps. Hold your position. Brian, anchor at this doorway for me. Ryan, we have another room right here. It looks like I have a bed at your 3 o'clock. You're going to go to your right. I'll follow to the left. Brian, hold your position. Hands and knees. I want you searching above and below that bed. You're on the bed right there, buddy. Be sure to search below it, too. I'm following this left wall. Brian, hold your position. Clear. All right, let's meet back up with the rope. We got an all clear on this room. Come on. Brian, we have a all clear on that room. We need to pull back to our entry point.
Okay.
Hands on my shoulder. Go.
Back at one cone.
One cone. Chair on your left. Chair on your left. Get back on the rope. I'm going to reorient. We have a doorway 20 feet straight ahead. Follow me. You search right side. I'll search left. Go. Keep moving forward. Five feet.
One cone.
One cone. We're at the door. Hold your position. I'm just searching this left wall, guys. Stay there for a second. We have a room to our right. Move forward 20 feet to my voice. Hold your position. It opens up to another room. Brian, move forward 5 feet. Brian, off the rope, I need you to search that room to your left.
All clear.
Clear? We have another hallway to our right, 10 feet. Okay. Follow me.
2 cones.
2 cones. Hold your position.
Got it.
We have another room. I want you to go right. You see it right here?
Yep.
Sweep right. I'm going to go left. Stay at the doorway.
Okay.
I'm clear my side. Are you clear?
All clear.
Brian, we're coming back to you.
Okay.
We got a doorway on our left, guys. Let me check it. We got still a lot of smoke, heavy smoke, okay? Brian, move forward to my position. We have a stairwell. We need to tie off on this stairwell.
Got it.
Brian, we have a stairwell. I need you to tie off on this stairwell.
Okay.
Guys, give me a quick air check. What do we got? I got yellow. Brian, I got you. Keep working. You're yellow. Okay.
It's a little back out.
Command for floors above.
Go ahead, floors above. This is command.
Command, we've encountered an interior stairwell. I just done an air check. We're all on yellow. We're going to be tying our rope at the stairwell, and we're going to be making an exit and change out bottles.
Command's clear.
Go ahead and detach from there. Emergency exit on the rope. Command for floors above. We're going to be exiting west stairwell. Okay, guys, we're going to turn around, work our way back out. You ready? All right, let's get out of here.
Going over the rope.
Over the rope.
2 cones.
2 cones. We still together?
1 cone.
1 cone. Command for floors above. We exited the west stairwell on our rope. I have a par.
Command's clear.
All right, guys, let's change out bottles. Okay, officers, when we make entry into a room, and in this kind of room, it's a cold smoke environment, the entire room is relatively the same temperature. These thermal imagers, really all they read are temperature variations, okay? If everything is the same exact temperature, it's gonna be basically coming back as a white screen. That would be called a whiteout. You can experience a whiteout in super hot conditions where everything's heated within that fire floor and is all close or relatively close to being the same temperature. It's gonna read back a white screen on your thermal. You can also have a cold, basically, whiteout, and that's what we're experiencing in here. Some of the things that we've noticed through training, though, for officer standpoint, is we use these thermals and we sweep these thermals way too fast. Guys enter a room and try to orient themselves to the room and where they need to go, and they're moving the thermal like this. If you slow down your thermal and really start looking at shape, some of these objects will clearly start to make out for you on this thermal. That's about how long it takes for a sweep. So it is important to remember these whiteout conditions. If we go into a large area that we need to search and we're just thermal dependent, what's going to happen to us if we experience a whiteout condition on that floor? You're going to have a very, very difficult time getting out of that structure. That's why we carry this rope with us as well. One of the things we also noticed on this basically cold search would kind of mimic a warehouse or something like that, is if he raises this thermal and he gets off the rope, guess what? Our rope actually shows up clearly in this environment. The rope is actually warmer than the room that we're in, so you can actually track your rope with your thermal to an extent.
A mayday has been called. We're the RIT team and we're making entry on floor 7 to the down firefighter. As soon as we get to the door, I'm going to notify command that RIT is entering on floor 7. A rope has been tied off to the down firefighter from the previous search team. So there's no need for us to search back and forth. We can get on this rope and go straight to the down firefighter. Ready?
Ready.
RIT bag is on his shoulder, and instead of having to search, we're just going straight through. Staying low. 1 cone. 2 cones. Down firefighter, we found the down firefighter. Command from RIT, we've located the down firefighter. At this time, person in command on the RIT team is going to get behind the firefighter, lift him up, put a knee in his back. What he's presented with here is the firefighter just ran out of air. If he didn't have a mask on, he would have to take off helmet and put our mask on. Since he already has a mask on, all he has to do is hook up the regulator. The reason why he's working this person from behind is it's identical to the same way that you've been doing this for the last 30 years. You click on, you know where you're at, you know how to take your helmet off, you know where your straps are. From the front side, if I'm doing this, I can't see anything and I'm fumbling, right? I don't know where everything is. As you can see, he's already got him on air. No reason to put the helmet back on. We're gonna drag this firefighter out. My job, being up in the front, is I'm coming right here. I'm unclicking him. Okay. Coming around his crotch area. You pull that one for me. You can tighten. Coming around his crotch area, so when we drag off of the air pack, now it's not going to slide up over his neck. RIT bag, what are we going to do with this? All of our new RIT bags will have large carabiners. This is not the carabiner that's going to be on the new RIT bag, but they'll be similar to this right here. One-handed. Now, he's already tied off right here. The only reason I'm doing this rope off of him is so that he does not get tangled up on the way back. Because I'm now on a rope line. Other firefighters doing the drag, and we're going to go over on a different video, different webbing that you can carry in your RIT pack to make it easier for one firefighter to put a webbing on this person and drag out without having to drag the air pack, okay? Now he's going to turn. I'm on the rope. Command from RIT, we're exiting the building with 1 down firefighter. Ready? Yeah. Let's go.
We must, if I'm floors above, or if I'm operating that division and I'm in division command on a high rise, and I have an assigned company as RIT, I am not taking that company off RIT no matter what. That's their assignment. Even though I'm limited resources, I'm keeping that company as RIT. Now, if I get more companies up here and I want to get that company involved, that's fine, but I need to instantly assign another company as RIT, okay? RIT company, were you tracking the radio traffic, listening, understanding where your stairwells were?
I was, yes. And we checked out the stairwells, made sure both companies were on lines in case we got to go in there.
Do you feel like that helped you being active instead of standing around, moving around, checking the building out, checking this floor layout below? Yep. That definitely helps you, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, it did.
Okay, that's one of the things I really want to highlight. Be prepared in RIT when you show up to a commercial, because this kind of search can be a commercial structure as well. Don't just stand around outside. Have a plan.
Be prepared. Set a lantern light out at those doorways. Tie a rope bag and set it down at that doorway just in case you're called in and you're ready to go. Size up that building. Listen to the companies. Understand the entry points. Who's going into that building and where they're located. Try to track those companies over the radio. We've got to start changing and doing those things.
Something I noticed there with our downed firefighter when we had our Mayday is we want to make sure that our Maydays are clear and concise. Take your time. Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Give information of where you're at. First of all, you slowing it down. Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Blah 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 blah. We want, as much as you want to be heard, we want to hear you on the incident commands portion of it. And we want to get the right resources to the right place. So slow it down. Give good intel of where you're at. The last known place that you were, and number of cones, all that stuff is good information. Man, we had a RIT team was there pretty quick on this deal.